Good morning and welcome to the Media Speaks Live news show. If we could all just maybe begin the program by taking a brief moment of silence of the victims of 9/11, 2001, and also Ambassador Stevens and the brave Americans that died on 9/11, 2012. Thank you. I'm D. Lake for Prez. I'm joined this morning by Sam I.B. DeGangi, Sam of the Correct Views, the band passing time, a Samuel.
Greetings, unsettled souls, and welcome to the Sunday edition.
Great. And also this special 9/11 edition, Sam.
Yes, indeed. I actually postponed talking about that until this show because yesterday I had posted the Ducks Captain and Month show and go ahead and listen to it. So, yes, I'm looking forward to it.
Great. Sounds good, Sam. And we're also joined by co-reporter Anne Marie. Anne, how's it going?
Hi, good. I'm looking forward to talking about 9/11.
Great. And Anne Marie, I know that you used to live in New York. Were you in New York in 2001 on 9/11?
No, I just moved to Texas, like just a little bit before that happened.
And did George Bush give you any notification to do that?
No.
Nothing like that? Okay. That's funny that you moved to Texas. Yeah. Can we maybe start off with your thoughts, Sam? Just what you wanted to put out there for today for 9/11?
Well, basically, the more it's studied, the more that people do begin to have some serious questions regarding it. So I wanted to go over it just real quick, and everyone use the keywords and search them yourself. So I'm going to do them bam, 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 one after the other. Um, Nanothermite was found in the dust at ground zero. Why would that be? Nanothermite is something you can use to blow something up. Why?
Sam doesn't hold back. Nanothermites is bullet point number one.
Be there. This is from Collective Evolution, but you can look these up independently. 1,700 plus engineers and architects support the real independent 911 investigation, which we never got. The total collapse of World Trade Center 7 in 6.5 seconds at free fall acceleration, it can only happen during a controlled demolition. You cannot get something to free fall, and then the other way, if you can, we would be interested in knowing how. Please get a hold of me at thecorrectviews@hotmail.com to dispel any of these. 4. Dick Cheney was in command of NORAD on 9/11 while running war games. The stand down order, of course, the orders still stand. Have you heard anything to the contrary? He said. 5. 6 out of 10 commanders believe the 9/11 Commission report was set up to fail. FBI confiscated 84 to 85 videos from the Pentagon. We were never allowed to see them for any reason. There were also camera footage from the Sheraton Hotel, Doubletree, Citgo stations, and none of them were ever allowed to be seen. Why would that be? Why aren't you allowed to see the planes that supposedly caused this? Why can you not see? And again, I'm not saying planes didn't do it. I'm saying, is it not the plane that it's supposed to have been? Is there something that we're not supposed to see? Because there's nothing graphic about a plane flying through the sky. Osama bin Laden was not wanted by the FBI for the 9/11 attacks. No hard evidence connecting bin Laden to 9/11. That was in the CIA's own report. 8. Although he did praise it, hundreds of firefighters and witness testimony of the bombs and explosions ignored by 9/11 Commission. In other words, people heard bombs going off inside, but nobody wanted to talk about it. It still hasn't been addressed by anyone at the commission. Hundreds of firefighters and witnesses testimony to molten metal ignored by the 9/11 Commission. You can't get molten
Pools of molten lava seem hard to ignore, but okay.
You can't get molten metal from jet fuel. So, all listeners, that's going to be very important. And again, if you can find any way to dispel these, by all means, please do.
Yeah, I dare you.
And 5 dancing Israelis arrested on Mossad truck bombs on 9/11 had stated, "We were there to document the event, therefore they knew it was coming ahead of time."
But it wasn't. But it wasn't hundreds and possibly thousands like Donald Trump once said. And
Well, no, this was actually Israelis that were on a Mossad truck bombs. The company was Dominique Suter. Um,
okay. Oh yeah, I've heard. Okay.
on September 10th of '01, Rumsfeld reported $2.3 trillion just happened to be missing from the Pentagon. What do you think they took that out of there for? What did they think about? 220 plus senior military intelligence service, law enforcement, and government officers questioned the official 9/11 story.
Mhm.
13 towers were built to withstand a Boeing. I designed it to be hit with a 707. Leslie Robertson, which was a structural engineer of the building, said, could possibly sustain multiple impacts from a jetliner, like a pencil puncturing a screen net. Therefore, we have another one of the engineers questioning it. History of American false flags, USS Liberty, Gulf of Tonkin, Operation Northwoods, the Oklahoma City bombing. It goes on and on about other times in American history where we've known it's been pre-planned. I talked many times about how Pearl Harbor was advertised way in advance in the newspaper prior to when they did it to us. BBC correspondent Jane Stanley reported the collapse of World Trade Center 7 20 minutes before it happened. Um, don't you think that's kind of interesting? 16, Flight 93.
Everyone, I would like to announce that what's happening behind me is.
Now, keep in mind, Building 7 was never hit by anything, so it wasn't imagined by anybody to be likely to come.
Oh, Sam,
So
Sam,
even
Sam,
if the
Sam. I think the best thing that we can do is just pull it.
yes, even if the debris from the other buildings was to have hit Building 7, it was a surprise to everyone that it fell. So in order for it to have happened the way they said, that still doesn't explain how it was known about ahead of time. Nobody would have possibly guessed that. 16, Flight 93 debris was spread over many miles. Cheney admits to giving the order to shoot down 93. Shot down the plane over Pennsylvania, Rumsfeld said. Nothing that you could distinguish that a plane had ever crashed there. Not a drop of blood. There was no plane there. 17. Bush had hesitated for 441 days before starting the 9/11 Commission. Jersey Girls, Phil Zelikow already wrote the outline before the commission even began.
That was convenient. We were just trying to save time.
Yes. The 9/11 Commission was given extremely limited funds. $15 million was given to investigate. Over $60 million was spent investigating Bill Clinton's affair with Monica Lewinsky. 19. Bush said he watched the first plane crash into the North Tower on TV before entering the classroom. The TV was obviously on. Was informed about the second impact while reading My Pet Goat to Children. Remained at least 8 minutes after the attack. Now, that doesn't bother me so much because you're not going to want to go moving the president around once you already have him in lockdown. So I'm willing to forgive that one. 20. The Patriot Act was written before 9/11. That's actually very interesting. They were planning on doing the things that were in the Patriot Act prior to this attack, spying, destroying the Fourth Amendment. Marvin Bush was director of Stratostech, which was in charge of security of the World Trade Center, United Airlines, and Dulles International Airport. All 3 were breached on 9/11. There's 3 more. Who killed John O'Neill? Former FBI task force agent investigating Al-Qaeda bin Laden. He ended up mysteriously died. No one knows how. 23. Insider trading based on foreknowledge, put options, never identified. Insiders made millions from United Airlines and American Airlines. And lastly, at least 7 of the 19 hijackers are still alive. No video footage of the 19 hijackers or passengers aboard the 4 planes existed. Pilots of the 4 planes never squawked a code. So, I mean, it's either a case of mistaken identity or they are still here.
What happened to the black boxes? Shouldn't we have that flight recorders?
I would imagine so, but I found that information to be right in a row, and I wanted to present it to people quickly. Bam, done. Now you can say, Sam, that's all lies. That's all coincidence. But if you can believe that, that's fine. That's fine.
I think those are just research points, jumping off points, places that people can go and find out more for themselves, make their own opinion. Anne-Marie, were you familiar with any of those 20 points there?
Well, anybody, please dispel. We're interested in hearing any dispelling. That's the word of the day. The word of the day. Dispel. If you write dispel in the comment lines, I'll make sure I send you something free. Go ahead, Anne-Marie.
Well, I'm kind of new to the conspiracy theories for 9/11.
Interesting choice of words there.
Because what I really want to know is like more from the Bush administration. I mean, at the end of the George W. Bush administration, they deleted up to 20 million emails, and this was like around like 2007. And there's even a Wikipedia on it. It's like Bush White House email controversy, and there's been really no investigation of it or a call for investigation of it. That's a lot of emails. I mean, when you compare that to Hillary, and that she deleted, how many did she delete? She deleted like tens of thousands. This is up to 22 million. So what I want to know is what was in these emails. I mean, I'm sure there's things about 9/11. Saudi Arabia, the decision to invade Iraq, probably things about Israel. They're a really strong ally, and we give the most money to them behind like Afghanistan. And also the decision to not pursue Osama bin Laden, like in Afghanistan. I mean, like, there's probably a lot of back and forth, and a lot of those details we want to know are in those emails. And I really wish that they would release or search or seek out those, we keep talking about Hillary and her emails, which I also want to, see if, but I want the truth out there. I mean, that's a lot of emails, and there was a lot of back and forth. What were in these emails? That's a lot. I mean, 22 million. So some of these details we're questioning about their decisions and what led them to make these decisions to invade Iraq, and those answers are probably in those emails that got deleted.
So yeah, okay. So it sounds like they might have been deleted for a reason.
Exactly.
I mean, part of a cover-up, national security. I don't know. This morning, though, as I woke up to begin today's show, live breaking news today, speaking of Hillary and her emails, well, this isn't about her emails, this is about her health. She had another episode this morning at the 9/11 memorial, Emery.
Yes, I saw that. They said that, there was different reports. I mean, one person, kind of falsely reported that she fainted, because they said that it was like a group of journalists. It was actually not a huge gathering. Donald Trump was there, and they said that she left a half hour early due to, her own people said, due to being overexposed to heat, like heat exhaustion and getting too hot. And they said that she went, overheated, and they said that she went to Chelsea's apartment, and that she's fine. But I do think that that's
Does
really
Chelsea
unusual.
rent?
It's like 81 degrees.
Let me interject this real quick. Everybody's comparing the jokes. Donald Trump is orange. One of the funniest memes I've ever seen. Said, America. I'm orange. My point being, to become that orange, to make that joke funny, you have to be in the sun. You have to be able to get. Why is it that Mr. Trump can take so much heat that even the left agrees with you? They call him orange. Why is it so good?
It's called a sun lamp, Sam. You can have that on your plane.
Could you see Hillary being able to withstand a sun lamp? You're not helping. You're not helping the case there.
It looks like she's wearing her. She's got her sun lamp glasses on right here. So the headlines read it as this, and it sounds like Anne-Marie had a little more time to check this over, but it's like Hillary faints in quotes as Secret Service rushes her out of 9/11 Memorial, overheated. There's a video. She struggles to walk. She stumbles off the curb.
Let's see the video.
Knees buckle. Loses a shoe. My shoe. Washington Post health now an issue. Oh, the Washington Post finally says it. Medical history under a microscope. New York Times campaign has no comment on if related to medication. Press are left in the dark. She retreats to Chappaqua. Is that where Hillary or is that where Chelsea lives? I thought she had an apartment in
That's
the
where
city.
Hillary lives. Yeah, they said at first that she went to Chelsea's apartment.
I don't want to make fun of someone that's sick, but I have to do this. It's a situational joke. Okay, are you ready? She got really hot, and they had to remove her. Now her campaign is in meltdown.
Meltdown. Sam is so creative. Yeah. She's like a radiator car. You know, it's like steam is coming out her ears. Okay, let's take a look at this. Supposedly she's gonna faint in this or something. I don't know. It's 17 seconds. I don't think we're gonna see much, but let's keep our eyes open. Is she in the van or approaching the van? Not seeing it yet. Oh, there she was standing there. That's her hair, right? Oh, there's the big black guy. Oh, whoa. Are you okay? Oh, it's okay. We got you. Oh my God. Is that a large black gentleman that supposedly we know who he is now, or someone got a name? That's always by her side and seems more a physician than a Secret Service agent. He is a Secret Service agent, or was, and maybe now he's retired, or he elevated his position into physician. Or Anne-Marie, were you able to see what was going on in that video?
I'm really worried. I mean, before we used to joke around, about her having like coughing fits.
Is it
her
just
last coughing?
Her last coughing fit? Go ahead.
Yeah, the one in Ohio when she came here and she had that huge coughing fit, and then afterwards on her plane, I got really scared for her. And this does look like she fainted.
50 pounds lighter. It didn't even really look like her. Well, it had to be her. I don't think the body double.
Yeah, so, I mean, guys, I'm no fan of Hillary. I mean, we've spent a lot of showtime kind of goofing on her and stuff, but Anne-Marie, I mean, it's starting to just get, scary. You can't say anything without starting to feel bad, maybe. So
and I looked up the temperature this morning. The temperature was 81 degrees in New York. It wasn't
it's 81
Texas
degrees?
hot, 100 degrees.
She overheated in 81 degrees?
The last time I checked, after I saw the story, I checked, and that's what it said. It wasn't that hot. I mean, I think
so you're saying that she can never. Well, she obviously can't campaign in San Diego. She'll melt.
Right, and I really do think that there is something wrong, and I feel bad for her because I do think mentally. When she said, I don't remember things, I don't think that she truly doesn't remember things when she was answering questions about the classified emails. I think that she was just lying and covering up. But I think that she does have her marbles. I think that she's waited her whole life for this moment. I think she's very close probably to, she has a big shot of becoming president.
And is it the stress?
Well, I think it's her body breaking down in front of us, and that sucks. It sucks to get old. It sucks when your body breaks down and you're like a head with no body. She really has a great shot.
So Hillary's gonna be a head in a jar.
Look up the body. Look up the body that wouldn't die once. It's the head.
The floating.
The head that wouldn't die.
Yes, MST3K did that movie. I was thinking of that. I was thinking of that movie, when I was thinking about Hillary, because I think that she does have her marbles. I think that she is smart. And I think she has a great shot of being the first woman president, but her body is breaking down. And I was thinking about that movie, MST3K, I think did that movie too, if that's the one with the head.
For those
Me
of you
too.
that don't know, friends, hold on. For those of you that don't know, friends, I'm going to go to screen share here. Now,
Awesome.
the interesting thing to be found here is that if you look, can you see the picture on my screen? Can you see the head that wouldn't die? Is it on my on-screen share when I talk?
I just see black. Here, let me look it up for you, Sam.
It's awesome. It's actually a picture. If you put in the head that wouldn't die, there's a picture of like where the head that wouldn't die actually has its mouth taped shut, and that would in fact be the best way in which to present Hillary Clinton.
Dude, I think it was, I don't remember who it was, maybe Steve Pachanik. Someone was saying that Hillary is just going to be a floating head in a jar like a year ago. Like,
you gotta find the picture where her mouth is taped shut.
Oh, there it is. You found it.
I was looking
That's
for the
movie.
taped mouth part. Kind of the same picture over and over. Oh, here we go.
Now see,
There you go.
if she ran like that, I'd be okay with it.
Hillary for president right there. Okay, let's take just another quick look at this video because we've only watched it once, but you can see this is the blonde hair and the suit. So there's Hillary, and she's leaning up against this pillar, and I'm kind of assuming the dark-haired woman in the blue dress behind her is Huma Abedin. And as the black van pulls up, you can see opening the doors, always seeming to get her ready to get into the van, is that large African-American gentleman. And so he opens up the double doors, takes her by the shoulder, says, come on, here we go. She's a little wobbly, little wobble there, wobble, wobble. Another person has to come to her other side and grab her other arm. So she's being held up by both arms. Wobble, wobble. Oh, just stepping off the curb is like pretty intense. And this chick is like, oh my God, they're filming.
Yeah, she's like blocking the.
And
the I think
the Secret Service, of course, they form a wall. That's their job. But it looks like a struggle to get her into that van. Man.
Yeah.
That could be giving her that stress. And this is under the Sam ID I told you so section. The last refuge, the conservative treehouse, writes this. Polls show that Gary Johnson hurts Hillary more than Trump. And I've predicted this all along. Gary Johnson has actually gone so far to the loony left that he isn't even affecting Trump anymore. It says, poll after poll is showing presidential candidate Gary Johnson the race hurts Clinton more than Trump. You know what that means. The mainstream media, it says, is going to be destroying Gary Johnson, which is what they did with the Aleppo fight. They're going after Gary hard now because Gary actually takes away from Clinton. And that is actually something I predicted very well. I didn't mean to be on that's something I predicted a minute ago.
Yeah. The media ran for a touchdown with that Aleppo thing.
Yes. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, his response at first, they said that the Daily Beast said that he first said when he responded that he thought it was like an acronym. He didn't realize that was his excuse.
I mean, he's on a news set with like an earpiece and stuff. Aleppo, the guy repeated it a couple of times. I don't know, but I mean, he was cool. He tried to play it cool, but I mean, if that happens to like Trump at the debate, they're like, "Who is the president of Namibia?" You'd be like, "Shit, can you tell me?"
Well. Yeah, like he was asked by this Daily Beast and Morning Joe guy. His name is Mark Barnacle, and he was asked like, "What is Aleppo?" And now
there
he
was just
didn't really know
recent
what it
like,
was.
yeah, there was just like recent news stories of like awful stuff going on there. So it's like, oh, you should have read the news this morning. It's like you didn't even know what Aleppo was until you started reporting on it this morning. So shut the fuck up.
Well, then the guy said to him, "You're kidding, right?" And then he said, Aleppo is in Syria. It's the epicenter of the refugee crisis. And then Gary Johnson responded, "Got it, got it." And he said that he wanted us to join hands with Russia to diplomatically bring the civil war to an end.
Which isn't a bad.
And but that's ridiculous because the last like rebel-held hospital in Aleppo was destroyed by a Russian airstrike last month.
No,
So,
what do you mean? I think what he means there is he doesn't want there to be this reintroduction of a Cold War atmosphere over this, the way there have been. I think he means work with them to figure out how to do it. The trouble is, not knowing where Aleppo is, did sort of take the wind out of the sail for that.
I would have been like, if you said Mosul, I would have got it. I would have got that one.
And Sam, you're right, because Hillary Clinton herself went after Gary Johnson. And during a press conference on Thursday, she said, "This is Hillary. Well, you can look at a map and find Aleppo." So she attacked Gary Johnson.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, because she has to, and Sam's right. I mean, Johnson at this point is hurting Clinton more than Trump among the electorate, and so I mean, if your poll numbers are starting to affect Hillary Clinton's poll numbers, you gotta die. You're going down.
Be careful with that rock climbing now.
Yeah, no more rock climbing for you, pal. Donald Trump attended Phyllis Schlafly's funeral, received a standing ovation. Sam, I don't want to jump to obituary column already, but you heard that Phyllis Schlafly passed away at 92, Republican conservative leader.
They tried to work out. Oh no.
Yeah, Phyllis Schlafly, you lost her.
Is that the older woman that they tried to run out of her own magazine? Scroll up. Yeah, they don't show.
That's right. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Sam.
Oh.
Funeral in St. Louis yesterday.
Let me see. No, I did not know that.
It was a beautiful day.
Dreadful.
There she is at a Trump event. And yeah, I mean, there's a personal message from her.
Oh, she was still with. Talk about somebody that was still with it. She was sharp as a tack.
She's the one that had the marbles. She had her full marbles. And she was moving around in her own body. She wasn't the head that wouldn't die.
No.
Old conservative lady that wouldn't die. And
that's a terrible blow for a conservative.
Shit, you know what I'm saying? She's living on. She lives on. All right, great. What else did we see in the news this week, you guys? Ann.
I'm on mute. Can you hear me? Oh, good. Okay. They released Colin Powell's email, where he talks. Basically, this is what happened. Hillary was saying that she heard of having a private server from Colin Powell, and Colin Powell said that he kind of remembered that, but kind of didn't. He really didn't want to get involved in this Hillary Clinton email scandal. And we know that the whole Bush administration deleted up to 20 million emails, so some of his emails were probably deleted. I'd love to read those. But anyway, in defense of Hillary, they released Colin Powell's email. And basically what they told us before was around like January 23rd in 2009, he emailed Hillary. And she basically used a private email account, like he did. This was like 3 days into her term, and now we finally have the official released Colin Powell email. And I'm just looking at the article. This is a quote. Okay, well, Clinton was asking about restrictions on BlackBerry use. Colin Powell wrote that he didn't have such a device, but he did have, quote, a personal computer that was hooked up to a private phone line. And then he wrote, this is another quote from Powell.
And right there, he had a personal computer hooked up to a phone line, because we're talking about back in the days when if Colin Powell wanted to get on the internet, it was like,
Yeah, I was just going to say,
for like, and
how out of touch she really is. She's relying on somebody who was using a system, 10, 15 years ago, longer than that, to be able to tell her how to cheat. She can't even find out how to cheat in a way that makes sense. She has to rely on technology. She's so out of touch.
the guy at the Platte River that bleached the server, they gave him immunity. The Justice Department.
But you know what's important? The important thing to take about the Colin Powell email is that this shows that this was not the first time an administration used a private server, or used private emails to actually do official business. He does say
private email and private server are like really two big major differences. That's the big difference there.
Well, this is his email. I want to read it to you. They finally released exactly what he told Hillary, because she was seeking his advice, and like you said, he was behind the times with his, computer. He didn't really have a BlackBerry back then. Okay, so this is what he said. Right. Okay,
and it wasn't that he was behind the times. It was, we're talking about a long time ago when things were different.
And she's using advice from somebody whose data is 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he does say that he was behind the times even at the time. I'll read it to you. He says, so I could communicate with a wide range of friends directly without it going through the State Department servers. I even used it to do business with some foreign leaders and some of the senior folks in the department on their personal email accounts. I did the same thing on the road in hotels. That's not smart. I mean, hotels, you have access, you could get hacked into. Okay, well, anyway, listen to this. Then,
he's like, you need to get burner phones in your own private server.
It says, if it is public that you have a BlackBerry and it's something government and you are using it, government or not, to do business, it may become an official record and subject to law, he wrote to Hillary. He then wrote, quote, be very careful. I got around it all by not saying much and not using systems that captured the data. Okay, then it goes on. He told Clinton that he had used an ancient version. This is a quote. This is ancient version is a quote he used of a PDA, a personal digital assistant. But officials of the Secret Service would not allow that device in secure spaces. And he kind of was like pissed off about it. Okay, here we go. Here's the quote. When I asked why not, they gave me all kinds of nonsense about how they gave out signals and could be read by spies, etc., he wrote. Same reason they tried to keep mobile phones out of the suite. I had numerous meetings with them. We even opened up for them to try to explain to me why it was more dangerous than, say, a remote control for one of the many TVs in the suite, or something embedded in my shoe heel. They never satisfied me, and NSA and the CIA wouldn't back off.
What was it in his boot heel that was interesting? What was it he was worried about in there?
Or something embedded in my shoe heel. He's
That's
basically making fun. He's saying that they're like, if
Yeah,
he
you're
wants
saying
to
that's kind of
contact,
sarcastic.
yeah, and he's basically saying in this email to Hillary that he was pissed off about the CIA and the NSA telling him that his outdated personal, excuse me, digital assistant at the time. Now that's not very good because hackers, they have the tools to hack into, you know, the old equipment. In fact, that's why they keep updating the NSA their systems, because they want the hackers not to hack into their new things.
Yeah.
So he's using an old
He's like,
form, and
oh,
he doesn't
national
understand.
security is so paranoid.
Yeah, and he's saying, well, I'm using an older form so hackers wouldn't get into it. But that's the opposite. The opposite is true. Hackers then know the tools of the older version. They're experts at the older version. They can hack into it easier. And he was saying to Hillary, I do business, not just personal, but also business emails with foreign leaders on my personal assistant in my hotel suite, and the CIA and the NSA is telling me not to. And he's saying, well, prove it to me that there's someone spying on me. Here's my remote control to my TV. Here's my shoe. Show me that they're spying on me. So he's not getting it, that he's using an outdated version even at the time. I mean, this, I know we're talking about this being outdated.
But how is this a defense for Hillary? He's like, here's all the ways I evaded stuff, and it's like, national security, I was just like, oh, you guys are screwballs. So paranoid.
Well, it's important because she is not the first person in administration. This is not the first administration that has done this. He did this.
Yeah, but that doesn't excuse what she did.
Right. It doesn't excuse it, but if she's taking advice and seeking and asking him advice in these emails, he's responding, and it's just important to note that she's not the only one that has ever done it, and no one investigated him. No one investigated these emails that the Bush administration deleted.
Anne-Marie, they certainly would be if he was running for president of the United States of America.
But we have questions now about 9/11. I mean, there's a whole commission that was investigating. I mean, what happened to those emails? They should have had an inquiry to those emails. Now, these emails were deleted. Now, this is why. At the time, the Bush administration, this was around 2007, and he was like in the White House till like 2009, he ended. But they were firing federal judges, a lot of federal judges. This is the Bush administration. This is George W. And that's why Congress wanted to see their emails. They wanted to find out, why are you firing all these federal judges? That was the investigation that led to them asking for their emails. Now, from that investigation that they started, the George W. Bush administration deleted up to 22 million emails. Now, in those emails, it's not just why they fired federal judges. There's probably, like I was saying before, there's probably things about 9/11, about why we should push back and not keep searching for Osama bin Laden in Afghanistan. There's probably back and forth with him and classified, lots of classified documents. I would love to see those emails, and I'm sure there's things about Israel, because we give them a ton of money. Behind Afghanistan, we give them the most money. What led up to these decisions? What led up to the Iraq War? We know now that even Hillary's vote, she apologizes for that vote. She voted for the Iraq War because, and even Donald Trump said on Howard Stern that he was for the war. You know why? Because we were told lies about, no, but we really were. We were told that they had weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. I mean, Osama bin Laden, he was using 9/11 to invade Iraq. Osama bin Laden was not in Iraq. He was, I mean, why didn't we go into other places that we, like, let's see those emails and let's find out, nobody's investigating those emails. And what I'm saying is, I'm not giving Hillary a pass. I think it's wrong that, she used a private server. It's She probably had, we think and we know now from the FBI investigation, but there was an investigation. There's no investigation into these emails. They deleted up to 22 million emails. We shouldn't forget that, because today is 9/11 and people want answers. People lost lives. People want to know. People lost lives in the Iraq War. I mean, and people are hitting on Hillary's, dogging her for voting for the war. Let's not forget the reason why we went to war. And maybe we should investigate these emails further too, and call for an investigation of the Bush administration. That's why I always say I'm in the middle. I'm not like for a Republican, for a Democrat. We can't ignore either side. That's just how I feel.
Right.
What do you guys think?
I think.
Don't you want to know what's in those emails?
I think he's probably, like I said, if they open up an investigation on it, they can do it, but it's not going to go anywhere because the connections to 9/11 are pretty much in the 28 pages that came out, thankfully. Um, with him, he's not running for president. He's not trying to gain our trust as a leader. So I don't think they're going to go after him because he's not going after anything like the presidency. He's done.
Oh,
Well, there is a bill in Congress to where the families of victims' families of 9/11 can like sue Saudi Arabia because of those 28 pages and some implications like that. It
right,
might
and
be
maybe
it might
even
be Obama's first veto or something like that. I don't know. I just read those headlines briefly the other day.
right, because they think that that's going to open us up to more lawsuits, like that they could sue us. Other countries then could, sue us. But
Sounds
also,
risky.
right, but also the families might want to sue the government. I mean, these conspiracy theories that you guys were talking about at the beginning of the show, you're basically saying, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you're basically saying that the government might have had something, or you're speculating that the government might have had something to do with these towers coming down and the loss of these lives. So
Well,
then,
I'm just speculating that today is 9/11, and it's a great day to try to fly, or to levitate, or walk on water, or disappear, or turn invisible, or walk through walls, because the laws of physics don't effing apply today. Now, I wasn't trying to say who did this, that, or the other thing, but when the entire media says on 9/11 the laws of physics don't apply and buildings can just come 110-story buildings with giant massive steel columns and a steel frame skeleton can just come collapsing down 2 in a row and then 3 on the same day. So I mean, the physics would prevent that.
well, I just
So
want the
they must
facts.
not apply on 9/11.
But these emails could lay out the reasoning behind some of the decisions that our politicians had to go on. Or
They're
they had to
gone.
vote.
Those emails are gone.
But why wasn't there investigation into that? There should have been. Like, we're talking about Hillary. There was an investigation into Hillary and Benghazi.
And Marie, you're completely
Yeah.
They didn't know that the emails were gone. They do now. But those hard drives, I mean, some of the people that knows where those hard drives aren't even alive anymore. So there isn't any way that you can bring him to justice. There aren't enough people still living. And this far removed from the event, I'm not even sure it's legal to try him. There isn't any way to try him. If this would have come out sooner, I think they would have. I think they would have tried him if this had come to light sooner. Or, again, if he was to be trying to run for something like president.
This up because there's a wiki on it. It's Bush White House email controversy. I mean, this really is huge, and there was not an investigation even at the time. I mean,
they didn't know about it at the time, Anna. They didn't know until later, and there isn't any way to conduct it now. Who are you going to go after? Many of these people are dead. Colin's alive, but again, he isn't running for anything, and his attorneys are going to say, "Show me evidence." All the people that would be able to show you that evidence are likely dead or really, really old and not able to testify. There isn't a way to prosecute him now. But had this been done sooner, I think they would have. I really do.
I think that they're so powerful, and they needed to cover up these things. I don't know how high this goes, but I'm not sure how soon they knew it. I mean, at the top of my head, I mean, there's a wiki on it. I don't know if D-Lake could screen share because it probably says it. There is a very it's if you go to Wikipedia, it's like Bush White House email controversy. It might say on there. I don't know if he's there. I'll try to go to it myself. Let's see. Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, can you go to that? Can you go to the Wikipedia and can you look up Bush White House email? Sam makes a really good point. Maybe they didn't know about it back then, because I'm wondering why didn't they investigate this
they had no idea
then at all. It's email controversy. And I know that the Bush administration, ended in like 2009, and they like deleted these emails in like 2007. So, but they were investigating why. They wanted to see the emails. They wanted to know why the Bush administration was firing all these federal judges. And that's when they deleted all those emails. That's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of information in those emails.
Mm-hmm. I think I found it.
Yeah, that's it. Mm-hmm. Like, when did they know that they deleted them? In 2009, it was announced that as many as 22 million emails may have been lost. But did they, he still, I mean, that's when he ended his administration. And they probably deleted even more at the very end of it.
Well, sounds like a purge.
I just think that it
sounds like a purge. I don't know. That probably happens. I mean, just dump all this crap.
It's a matter of record. It's official. Like when you have, that's what Colin Powell was saying to Hillary. Be careful. Whatever you do, he's put. Let me read you the quote. That little sentence. It's like, government or not, to do business, it may become an official record and subject to law. When you're an official of a government, that's what they do. You're supposed to show those emails and not cover them up. You're not supposed to delete them.
That's the majority of Hillary's crime, is that she was evading FOIA requests and she didn't keep the records. You have to, when you're an official, people need to
and that's like this.
Call
that's
you
exactly
out.
What I'm talking about.
They need to do FOIA, Freedom of Information Act requests and stuff, and find out what you've been doing. And then if you can't provide that,
the George Bush administration got rid of 22 million emails. She got rid of tens of thousands of emails. 22 million. And remember, we're asking questions about what led up to the Iraq War. People are pressing Hillary. Why did you vote yes on the Iraq War? And she's apologizing for it. If I was Hillary, I'd say, well, that's because I was told by the Bush administration that there's weapons of mass destruction. I mean, if you want to know the reasoning behind it or anything, any question you have, it's probably answered in those emails. And those are a matter of public record, most of them. I'm sure there would be some redacted, classified statements that we wouldn't be privy to see. But we should be able to see out of 22 million.
You can only blame the intelligence community so many times before they turn on you. You can't just throw them under the bus every time like you didn't get the information. Anyways,
we were lied to. We were all lied to. We were told that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction and that Osama bin Laden may be there, and he used Bush W. Bush used that 9/11 horrible 9/11 attack to say, let's go invade Iraq. And Osama bin Laden, now when did they know that? Probably have back and forth conversations about it. Listen, I'm not a Hillary supporter, but I'm also not a George W. Bush supporter. I mean, we were
Well,
all
it's
lost in Iraq War.
the Patriot Act was actually written prior to 9/11, so yeah, Bush was a disaster.
Well,
I agree. He was a
there's
disaster.
no Bush running for president right now. It's actually don't.
It is interesting, and I want to stress that to people. Remember, everyone okayed the Patriot Act because the Patriot Act is going to keep us safe after 9/11. Go ahead and remember that the Patriot Act was already written before 9/11. They planned on eviscerating before we were under attack.
All right. And check out the plan for a new American century, the PNAC, where they said we need a Pearl Harbor sized event to galvanize the country and make them all go nuts for our war plans. Let's shift gears into some entertainment news so that we can wrap up an awesome show. But before we get there, Sam, do you have some science news today?
Yes, I do. Let me call it up ever so quickly here. I should have already had one.
Okay.
This is a little bit different than what some people would expect, but I thought this was interesting. We're going to go to nuclear science today. Controversial new U.S. sub moves closer to full-scale production. And I understand why this is needed, considering the perceived provocations of Russia. But I'm hesitant to call this good news. Uh, the most controversial nuclear bomb ever planned for the U.S. arsenal, some say the most dangerous too, has received the go-ahead from the Department of Energy's National Nuclear Security Administration. The agency announced on August 1st that the B6112, the nation's first guided or smart nuclear bomb, had completed a 4-year development and testing phase and is now in the production and engineering phase, which of course is the final phase for 2020 announced. It comes in the face of repeated warnings from civilian experts and some former high-ranking military officers that the bomb, which can be carried on fighter jets, could tempt those during the conflict because of its precision. The bomb pairs accuracy with explosive force that can be regulated. But again, these are going to turn these areas into nuclear hazards, and the government's going to tell you that they're safe after they've been bombed, and they'll never be safe again. But they'll lie to you with bunk science and say that it is. President Barack Obama has consistently pledged to reduce the number of nuclear weapons and forego weapons with new military capabilities. Yet this bomb program has thrived on the political and economic clout of defense contractors Lockheed Martin. It takes $11 billion for about 400 of the bombs. They're the most expensive U.S. bomb ever. And virtually everyone agrees that as long as nuclear weapons exist, some modernization of the U.S. force is needed. The problem here is that with these weapons, questions, it says, tend to focus on the increased accuracy. Unlike the free-fall gravity bombs it will replace, this bomb will be a guided nuclear bomb. The new the new Boeing company tail kit assembly enables the bomb to hit targets precisely using a dial-a-yield technology. And it said if the Russians put out a guided nuclear bomb on a stealthy fighter that could sneak through air defenses, would that add to the perception that they were lowering the threshold in use of nuclear weapons? So that's particularly bad news on the science front today. I did not know that I was on blue screen. Damn it. That is our news from the science front today.
Submarines are cool.
They look like great big winguses.
Yeah.
It's like Kim Jong-un likes them.
I like to look out through the periscope.
Up Periscope. But yeah, that's particularly bad news. Like I said, especially if those are put on stealth fighters, very, very bad news.
All right.
Speaking about death, we did lay Gene Wilder to rest, right? We did do that last week. Or did we get sidetracked?
I believe so.
I want to make sure because one of the most, well, again, everybody talks about John Kerry and Donald Trump being orange, but remember, the first orange people were in Willy Wonka. And all jokes aside, one of the funniest human beings to ever live, Alzheimer's, took out Gene Wilder. Absolutely awful, grim news. Right. His wife was Gilda Radner. I didn't know that he had married afterwards, but he had.
They were together for like a really long time before they actually got married.
But yeah, I might as well get it over with on D-Lake here. The woman who received the world's first face transplant died. 11 years after she received it, she was 49. The hospital didn't say what killed her. They don't know whether or not maybe the body had rejected the face after all. Also, TV's Wyatt Earp, Hugh O'Brien, has died at the age of 91. This happened on the 5th, and he was got the fame as Wyatt Earp in what was hailed as television's first adult western, and died at 91. And until the Wild debuted in 55, most TV westerns like Hopalong and The Lone Ranger were aimed at adolescent boys. But it was Wyatt Earp, on the other hand, that brought it to adults. And the man who played the great Wyatt Earp is no longer with us. I don't know if it says here exactly what killed him. Look up what killed Wyatt Earp, D-Lake. I'm not sure that it's in here, but
the real
no
the real Wyatt. I'll get a bunch of results for the real Wyatt Earp.
No, Hugh O'Brien. Hugh O'Brien, unfortunately, no longer with us. I figured I'd put that out there. And while D-Lake looks up what kills him, we're going to talk about a dead man who lives on and lives on greatly. As oh wait, I'm sorry, John Polito, prolific character actor, also dies at the age of 65. He was in The Big Lebowski. He was in Life on the Street, which was a homicide movie. And he was taken off life support at the hospital, treated for multiple melanoma, which cancer got this man at the age of 65. Very young cancer wiped him out. And
thank you, Sam. That's enough. That's funny.
Now on to those who lived through those who died. And many of you know that I was greatly depressed with the past. Motorhead. Well, Phil Campbell, who actually shared my version of Deaf Forever on keyboards on his site, Phil Campbell, who was in Motorhead, put a band together with his sons called Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. It's part of Phil Campbell's all-star band. And they played at Wacken, it's spelled Wacken, in Europe. And my God, can the guy singing for Phil Campbell's all-star band sing. This is probably the best rock and roll singer to come along in the last 5 or 10 years. This guy does a sweetly. He sounds better than Sabbath did, maybe even at Oz's prime in terms of fullness of this guy's voice. So check out Phil Campbell's all-star band. He's continuing to write music now that Lemmy has, of course, left us. That's my entertainment update for the day.
Yeah. Sam, I was going to say, after you tell us about all the people that passed away, I'd like to talk about people that were born today.
Well, what killed us? You never looked it up.
Birthday today?
Oh.
Moby.
Really?
It's Moby's birthday.
Very nice. How old is he?
He was born in 1965. You do the math. Oh, Henry. Virginia Madsen. Oh, I like her. Yeah, she's a good actress. She's one of those ones you always recognize her in the stuff you see, but yeah, it's like, what's her name again? That's Virginia Madsen. Oh, Carl Friedrich Zeiss. He was the German maker of optical instruments. Oh, like glasses. That's cool. Bashar al-Assad in Syria. There it is. 9/11, his birthday. Bashar al-Assad. D.H. Lawrence. Theodore Adorno. I don't know who this guy is. Auschwitz begins wherever someone looks at a slaughterhouse and thinks they're only animals. Okay. And some other people. Let's see.
Who said that about the animals?
This Theodore Adorno. He was an author,
Auschwitz.
a German philosopher. Auschwitz. All right.
By the way, Hugh O'Brien died of just medical complications.
Oh.
And he took his mother's name because he didn't want to keep the last name Rape, K-R-A-P-E. And he married for the first time in 2006 on a wedding to die for, which is kind of amazing considering he was 91.
Why is Harry Connick Jr. way down here at the bottom? I would have put him at the top. Moby's at the top.
It might be
I don't know. Emery, have you seen anything good or exciting on TV or, I don't know, movies or anything? Watching The Jungle Book. Man, it's pretty good. The animation's really good.
That looks really cool.
I gotta finish watching it. What's the other one I watched? I watched Keanu. I was laughing a lot. It's pretty funny. Key and Peele. I don't know. I never really watched too much of their show, but they're pretty funny. Anything, Amory, you've seen?
Oh, I watch all these kids shows. I watch a million kids shows all when we watch TV. So
yeah. It's like Nickelodeon and cartoons and stuff.
And I watch, let's see. And of course I watch the videos on whatsupinthesky.com and Mars Anomalies on the YouTube channels. And they have a really cool website. They have it's called UFA now. It's like the United Federation of Anomaly Hunters, and it's a group of like Will Farrar and Chris from Mars Anomalies.
It sounds like they're invading your. It sounds like the Space Invaders are messing up your microphone.
Uh-oh.
She's doing a little Robo Anne Marie there, huh, Sam? Robo Anne. Hey guys, I think it's been a great show. And Anne-Marie, the guys that you were just talking about, we might have them on next week. Is that right?
Yes, I hope so.
Yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my ears. I'm losing faith. Why has he abandoned me?
Yeah, he'll be on, and maybe with some of his friends. It'll be good. We'll have to wait and see. I thought today was a good show. Again, everyone, thank you for joining us today on 9/11. We talked about a lot of stuff, and I thought it went well. Guys, did we do a good show? What do you think?
Yeah.
I think we did an honor to those who everybody opened the show with a moment of silence. So Delo's right there with a new first.
Yeah. It's the anniversary, and we just want answers. We just want the truth. So us trying to get to the bottom.
Don't you have a sample for us, Delo, about the truth? See us out.
A sample of the truth?
I thought you had the truth. I thought it was already.
Pour juice on your chin.